He's built multi-million-dollar companies. His explosive books on health and wealth have sold over 60 million copies. Now, The Kevin Trudeau Show they don't want you to know.
Hey, Kevin Trudeau here. Limitless, The Kevin Trudeau Show. Glad to have you here with me. Manifesting your goals, dreams, and desires. It's the hottest topic on the internet. All these people are coming out of the woodwork. I don't know who the hell they are. And they're saying, oh, learn the secrets of how to manifest money. Learn the secrets of how to manifest your reality. Learn the secrets. I know the secrets. I'm the only guy who knows the secrets. I got the secret of how to make your dreams come true, how to use your mind to manifest and create what you want to happen in your life. Who are these people? What have they ever done? Well, today you're going to learn that your wish is your command. How to manifest your desires. Oh, what does Kevin Trudeau know about that? Well, let me tell you a story. I never gave a speech on how to make money or how to manifest anything until I had generated over $5 billion in business. Now, you find another guy out there, and there may be one. I don't know who they are. All the people out there teaching how to manifest goals and dreams, how to create your reality with your mind, they have never done anything. There's an old saying, if you can't do, teach. Today, you're going to learn some stuff that nobody else is talking about because they don't know. They may know about manifesting because they read a bunch of books written by people who know about manifesting. They've never ever actually done it in their life. And the reason they wrote a book is they read some books and went to some seminars and regurgitated the information and put it into a new book. That's all you're being exposed to is sound, good advice on how to manifest goals and dreams and desires. Well, today you're going to learn some stuff that isn't out there anywhere. And I've reviewed a lot of this stuff because I thought maybe there's something really good out there. And there really isn't. Well, today you're going to learn that your wish is your command. As a matter of fact, there's an audio program that I did almost 20 years ago, I guess 20 plus years ago, called Your Wish is Your Command, How to Manifest Your Desires, How to Create a Perpetual Money-Making Machine. And it's 14 CDs. Nobody gets CDs anymore. We give it as a digital download. And this is a seminar, and I'll just tell you the quick story behind this. I was in the Brotherhood, as you know, a secret society. I learned how to use your mind to manipulate energy and matter and manifest goals, dreams, and desires. That's what I learned. I learned it from people that were worth hundreds of millions of dollars and who are worth billions of dollars. I learned it by members of royal families. These were members of the Brotherhood. Billionaires, the biggest, most powerful movers and shakers in the world. That's who is in the Brotherhood. They're senior to Skull and Bones. They're senior to Bohemian Grove, the Council on Foreign Relations. But they're all interrelated. And I was inducted into that organization back in the late 60s when I was very young. And I was taught how to use the mind to manipulate energy. I used those techniques to do lots of things, which we'll talk about in a future episode. But I used those techniques to generate companies that generated billions of dollars in sales in Australia, in the US, in Canada, South Africa, the UK, and some parts of Europe. I applied what I learned, showing and proving that it works. I manifested my dreams. I manifested money. And I was told specifically that your mission, your purpose in life down the road is going to be more spiritual. But right now you have to have a resume of success that is almost unparalleled. I never went to college. My dad was a welder, wonderful guy. My mom was wonderful. She was fantastic. My family was wonderful. I loved my family. Loved my mom and dad and all my family members, just really lovely. A lot of love and attention, but nobody was rich. They were wonderful people. They were rich in their heart and rich with compassion and love and kindness and joy and happiness, but they weren't rich financially. They were workers, and there's nothing wrong with that. But starting off on the wrong side of the tracks, per se, I was behind the eight ball. I had no money to start. I had no education. I had no connections. I just had a dream. And I had the knowledge of how to manifest, how to set a goal, and how to use the mind to actually have it create and manifest in physical reality. And it was started with my first car. I said, I want a 1967 or 68 Camaro convertible, brand new, like new. Well, I manifested a 1967 Firebird convertible that was like brand new. And I remember how I did it. I put out what I wanted into the universe. I used the techniques, which I'm going to share with you today. I used the techniques on how to manifest. And that Sunday, we used to get the Sunday newspaper. We look in the classified ads for cars. And I looked in the classified ads, and there was an ad there. It says 1967 Firebird convertible, 1,500 original miles, midnight blue. And I thought, and it was $1,500. I thought, this is going to be wrong. It's 1980. This car is 1967. It can't have 1,500 miles on it. And if it did, it'd be like in showroom condition, unless there's something wrong with the car. Maybe it's all rusted out. But $1,500 doesn't make a lot of sense. That's too cheap, way too cheap. So I called my dad and I said, listen, can you take me to look at this car? Sure. So we drove to look at the car. We knock on the door. An old woman answers the door, nice lady. And I said, I'm here for the car. Yes. She goes, it's in the back in the garage behind the house. It wasn't an attached garage. It was a standalone garage, no air conditioner or anything. So we went back there, opened up the garage. It's all dusty, full of cobwebs. It's like nobody's been in this garage. And there's this car on blocks that's covered. It's on blocks. The wheels are off. It's on blocks. And it's all covered up. And she goes, here's the car. And I'm confused. There's cobwebs everywhere, and there's like this much dust on the cover. So we pull the cover off, and there in front of me is a brand new 1967 Firebird convertible with 1,500 original miles. It looks like it came off the showroom floor. And I said, what's the story behind this car? She goes, my son bought it in 1967, and he was drafted into the Vietnam War. And right after he bought the car, he went to Vietnam, and he never came home. When he went away, he put it on blocks to preserve it for when he came back, and I just didn't have it in me to sell it. And now's the time. It's time to move on. And I bought that car for $1,500, like brand new. It was a brand new car. It's something that you can't get. I manifested that with my mind. Then I used these techniques, and I thought, I want to have some type of residual income. I want to be a trust fund kid, but I don't have a trust fund. I don't want to have to work another day in my life. I want to, a trust fund is, let's say that you're my kid, and I set up a trust fund for you. So I set up a trust fund with $10 million in it. That's the trust fund. And you get the interest and the dividends off that trust fund sent to you every year, maybe every month or every quarter. $10 million generates around 10% income. That's $1 million a year. So every year for the rest of your life, you're going to get a minimum of $1 million, because maybe the equity goes up too. But it's a minimum of $1 million, and you never have to work. You have an allowance of $1 million for the rest of your life. That's a trust fund kid. Some kids got a trust fund with $100 million. So their allowance was $10 million a year for the rest of their life, and they never had to work. I said, I want to be a trust fund kid. I want to be an international playboy, James Bond. I want to travel around the world in private jets and drive Ferraris and have fancy clothes and go out to fancy dinners. And, I want to do all this cool stuff and be this cool guy who doesn't have to work. And, I can do whatever I want. I can tip really big. I can invest money. I can give money to charities. I want to be this cool, suave, sophisticated guy. But my dad's a welder. He's a union worker. I don't have a trust fund. So I used the techniques that I learned, and I thought, I'm going to manifest this. All of a sudden, I'm not going to tell you the whole story, but bim, bam, boom, I get a phone call from a fellow named Arthur Schiff. And he says, I'm producing an ad for a knife, and I want you to help write it. This is back in the 70s, early 70s. He didn't know how old I was. I helped write this ad for this knife. It was a knife that was manufactured in Cleveland, Ohio. It had a serrated edge. It would cut anything, and it never needed sharpening. And it could never break. It would last a lifetime. And because Japan was kind of in the news and Japanese products were in vogue at the time, we named it the Ginsu knife. And I wrote this little ad. And the ad became one of the most popular, or at that time, the most popular, successful short-form commercials of all time, the Ginsu knife. And then we did Armor Code cookware. And I started writing direct mail and producing ads for other companies, all of which I got a royalty, which means I did the work once. I spent a day or two writing the ad. And then for the next 5, 10, 15 years, I would get royalties sent to me every month on the sales of those products. Within a few months, I became a trust fund kid. I never had to work another day in my life because I had royalties coming in from these dozens and dozens of products that I wrote ads for, direct mail, print ads in newspapers and magazines, radio commercials, and TV ads. And I had a contract and I got royalties. I never had to work. I had money coming in. People always said, how is it that you never had to work and you always had this opulence around you? You had always had this money. And now you know, because I had royalties coming in. And to this day, I still get them coming in, by the way. To this day. I manifested that using my mind. I did it with mega memory. I was sitting there thinking, I'm teaching memory classes, helping people improve their memory. We have a great business. We got salespeople, and we've trained trainers who can teach the seminars. And I got my accounting department and my marketing department and my booking department and my outbound telemarketing department and my direct mail department. And I'm running the business as the president. And I go to work and I'm enjoying it. And we're helping people around the world develop a powerful memory so they can remember names and faces. Fantastic. And I thought, I want to have this business be a walk-away business. I want to manifest that. I manifested the business itself because I wanted to get into that industry. And that's another story of serendipity, of magic happening right before your very eyes. But I wanted to manifest money out of thin air. So I said, okay, I know how to do this. So let me tell you exactly what I want, universe. I said, I want to have a check coming in for the memory business every week, at least $100,000 a week, minimum, at least $100,000 a week, every week for the rest of my life, and I never have to work for it. How do I do it? You figure it out. I don't know how to do it. You manifest, and I use the techniques, which I'm going to share you a couple techniques today. So I use those techniques. 1 week later, I went to New York City. I spent the weekend on a holiday, went to some Broadway plays. And there's a delicatessen there. It's closed down now. It's across from the Carnegie Hall called the Carnegie Deli. They had corned beef and pastrami and world's greatest cheesecake. So I went there with my girlfriend, and we sat down and I had a Danny Rose. That was the name of the sandwich, a Danny Rose. Half corned beef, half pastrami. And you go up there and they sit you at a table and you're sitting next to somebody else you don't know. It's almost like this long table with like 6 or 7 seats on this side and six or seven seats on that side. It's one table, and you're sharing the pickles, and you're very close to the people. It's very informal and casual. So I sat down and got my Danny Rose, and the guy who's sitting right there, my girlfriend's in front of me, the guy who's sitting right kinda-quarter to me, I look at him and I said, "You look familiar. You're Bobby Singer, aren't you? The blackjack expert who has that TV infomercial on how to make money at blackjack." He goes, "Yeah." So we start talking. And I said, "I bought it and I loved it. I'm a memory expert. It's really easy for me to count playing cards." And he goes, "You're a memory expert?" I go, "Yeah, I teach memory training. I show people how to improve their memory, blah, blah, blah." I tell him about it. And he says, "You need to put that on a home study course and sell it on TV infomercials." And I said, "No, it really won't work on TV infomercials." He goes, No, it'll work on infomercials." He goes, "Give me your card. I'm going to send you a contract. I'll put up all the money and I'll pay you a royalty, and you'll be getting royalties for the next 10 years. I said, "Oh, it won't work." I left, went back to my hotel. I was staying at the Plaza Hotel, beautiful hotel in New York City. I call and check my answering machine back home. Back then you had to call the phone number and then hit the little code in, and it was a tape that would play. And I hear a message, "Kevin, it's your old friend Alex Duarte. I'm in Lake Tahoe, and I bumped into an old friend of yours, Ed Beckley, the millionaire maker, the guy who sold real estate courses on TV on how to buy real estate with no money down. He's a TV infomercial expert. You know him. You were in that business back then. Well, I told him what you're doing now with the memory training, and Ed says you should put this on a home study course and sell it on TV." Folks, this happened in the same day. When I used a technique just 7 days earlier of what I wanted to manifest, within 7 days, boom, I got 2 people telling me I should do the same thing, and both offering to put up all the money and pay me a royalty for the rest of my life. So I said, "Ed, I just talked to Bobby Singer. He wants to send me a contract." He goes, "He would be great to go with. I think I would do a better job." I says, "Well, whoever sends the contract first." So I call up Bobby Singer. I say, "Hey, just Ed Beckley says I should do this too. He's going to send me a contract, so whoever sends the contract first." Ed Beckley sent me a contract via Federal Express. And back then, this is 1988, back then, nobody used Federal Express. It cost a lot of money. It was a new overnight delivery service. Ed sends me the contract, Federal Express. And you got to be a somebody if you get a Federal Express. Even the Federal Express band is wondering, who the hell's this guy to get a Federal Express? So I get this Federal Express envelope. I open up, it's the contract. I call Ed. We negotiate a few terms. I sign it. We're done. A week later, I get a contract in the mail from Bobby Singer. And I said, "Hey, Bobby," I call him up. "I've already signed with Ed." He says, "Well, I know Ed. He's a great guy. I think you'll do well. I missed out." Mega Memory went on to do $450 million in sales, and I got royalties. My first royalty check was $268,000 for the week. For the week. And I got checks of over $100,000 every single week. I manifested that in 7 days using the techniques. And here's the point. The point is, if you are listening to people on the internet, if you're reading books or going to seminars on how to manifest, you're probably being taught sound good information and not the real stuff. After I did this dozens of times, by the way, and generated over $5 billion in business, many people around me said, "Kevin, can you please teach us how you manifest? Because clearly you're doing something that nobody else is teaching. It's not in Dale Carnegie's book, Think and Grow Rich. It's not in the law of attraction. It's not in Walter Waddell's book, The Science of Getting Rich. It's not in Charles Haniel's book, The Master Key to Riches, which are all good books. But it's not in them because those guys never became billionaires. They're writing books on how to manifest, on how to make money and how to get rich, but they never were rich. You're doing something different. And I said, "Yeah, I learned it from guys who are billionaires, and those guys ain't teaching people outside the brotherhood. This is a secret society type of bit of information." You know, people kind of stumble upon things sometimes, and there's a lot of sound good advice, and quite frankly, there's some advice that may produce some decent results. And sometimes people don't even know what they're doing if it's working, and then they're teaching what they think they're doing, but it's not even what they're really doing. And then the other guy tries it, it doesn't work. Which is why it's estimated that 98% of people who read manifesting books like Ask and It Is Given, which is an excellent book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, or The Law of Success in 16 Lessons by Napoleon Hill, or The Master Key to Riches by Charles Haniel. Any of these manifesting books, The Magic of Believing, any of these manifesting books, 98% of them don't become successful. They may increase their income a little, and they may be happy with that, but none of them become mega successful. It's unbelievably rare. And those who do don't even know what they did. They kind of stumbled upon it. And if you ask them what they did, they really don't know. And if they think they know, and they try to duplicate their success using what they think is the pattern for success or the recipe for success or the formula for success, it doesn't work. And they scratch their head and go, why? Because they don't even know what the recipe is. They don't know what the algorithm is for success. There is an algorithm. There's an actual mathematical. It's an actual mathematical formula. It's mathematical because it deals with not just physics, but quantum physics. It's mechanics. We're dealing with the universe. So people kept on asking me, please teach, teach, teach. And I said, listen, I'm not teaching people how to become successful because at the end of the day, the most successful people in the world keep this stuff a secret. Think about that. All the wealthy people, they don't go out there and start writing books on how to become successful. If they do, they write it with misinformation on purpose. Henry Ford said, if people learn the way I create money, then who's going to work in my factories? Think about that. So I learned stuff that most people have never heard. And someone says, well, wait a minute. Didn't Napoleon Hill, when he wrote The Law of Success in 16 Lessons or Think and Grow Rich, didn't he learn it from the most successful people on the planet? Yes. Andrew Carnegie, the richest man in the world, took Napoleon Hill and set him up with Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, J.P. Morgan, Vanderbilt, Rockefeller, all those people, the richest people on the planet. And Napoleon Hill interviewed and in some cases lived with these people to observe what they do, and he wrote it down. But he didn't get the real information. Henry Ford said, I didn't tell Napoleon Hill what I really do. I tried to send him off track because I don't want people learning this information, because if they learn it, then who's going to work in my factories? So those books really don't have the missing magical woofle dust, if you say, that really creates the results. It's good information, clearly, but it's missing things. So all these people kept saying, Kevin, please teach. And I said, listen, that's not my business. So I said, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll charge $50,000 because that way we'll get rid of all of the riffraff. We'll only deal with people that have already achieved a certain level of success, which is what we deal with in the Brotherhood. We don't deal with people who need help. We deal with people who don't need help. And someone said, well, that doesn't sound right. Well, in the Brotherhood, we make the able more able. We're not here to save the poor. That's just like if you go to the New England Conservatory of Music and say, I can't play anything. I can't play anything on the piano. I can't play any instrument. I can't sing. I can't hold the note. But I want to come to the New England Conservatory of Music, and I want you guys to teach me how to play an instrument. They're going to say, sorry, we only deal with people who are the best musicians, and we're going to make them great. Make sense? So the Brotherhood does the same thing. It takes the best of the best and makes them even better. Takes them to a new level, which is beyond human comprehension. So I said, I'm going to charge $50,000. I'll do it in the Alps. In the Brotherhood, we had one of our guys had this beautiful, opulent place there, right in between Austria, Switzerland, and Italy. So for 2 days, I taught the secrets to this small group of people. There was about 100 people there. Interestingly enough, there was a king from an Asian country that was there. There were other members of royal families there. There were billionaires there, major politicians that were there as well, because they wanted to hear from me because of my involvement in the Brotherhood. They knew me. In some cases, we knew each other personally. Otherwise, we just knew each other by name, and they knew of me. So they went, and I recorded that seminar. And that's what this is, Your Wish is Your Command. I recorded it 14 hours. Then I went into the studio, cleaned it up a little bit, added some things in the studio as well to put together this package. It is the finest manifesting course of all time. It is the #1 most organized and systematic, step-by-step method on how to manifest goals, dreams, and desires, revealing information and techniques that aren't in any other book anywhere. So I'm going to give you a couple of them today. Now, by the way, after that event, the response was off the chart. There was several people that were there that were single, and because when we came in, I talked to everybody before we started, and I said, "What are you looking to manifest?" And there was a lady who says, I'm widowed, older woman. She goes, I'm looking for the right man, and it's hard. I'm wealthy, and people want me for my money, and it's difficult, and so forth and so on. Another fella that was younger guy said, I've not met the right woman. I'm obviously a successful, handsome guy, so I could meet people, but I can't meet the right woman, and it just doesn't work, and I'm afraid they're after me for my money. Then there was another fellow who wasn't very wealthy, but he was doing very well. He could afford the $50,000. And he said, I'm very shy around women. I just can't even introduce myself. Because I go, you're a handsome, good-looking guy. You're successful. You're not a billionaire or anything, but you're successful. You get your whole life in front of you. He said, yeah, but I'm just shy around people. And in those 3 instances, before the end of the weekend, all 3 had met somebody. And it was just through this serendipitous series of events in each example. It was, you couldn't write a Hollywood script because the techniques work. The techniques work. The techniques of manifesting get the whole universe to work together to help manifest what you want in your life and create it in your reality. There were people there that wanted to make money, increase their business, and that happened virtually 100% of the time for everybody who was there. Some of the people that were involved in government had some major political issues and election problems. They wanted to manifest things. And one person, the election flipped. The guy was down by 20 points in the polls, and he wins the election by 20 points. And it was the most largest flip in history using the techniques. The techniques work. So then I put this on this CD series, and I offered it to a small group of people that I had known that we had a mailing list. So I put together a letter, and I told people, look, you're on my mailing list. I know who you are. You kind of qualify for this. You're not some salami. You're not a nobody. You're a somebody, and you might want this. And I'm going to charge you next to nothing, only $1,000. And this was 20 years ago. So what is that, like $5,000 today? But it's next to nothing. So it was like $1,000, and we had all these people buy it. Okay, and I gave the money to charity anyway. It wasn't for, I'm trying to sell it for myself. The only reason you actually have that is so you have an even exchange. You have to have some type of money so there's some type of even exchange. This way, the person knows of the value. And I said, all you have to do is just send me letters, or we didn't have emails back then. Send me letters with the results. And we have these thousands of letters that poured in from people that used the Your Wish is Your Command and saw these unbelievable, miraculous results. And when you read sometimes 2 or 3 pages of a letter from somebody who's saying, I did this, I did this, I did this, and this was the results. You couldn't write this in a script. If you walked into Hollywood and said, here's the story of this person who used these techniques, they would say, this no one's going to believe it. It's too good to be true. It's too good to be true. It's too good to be true. But it is true. These are all documented, substantiated, real-life examples of people who manifest everything from cars and spouses and better relationships and children. They're infertile, and all of a sudden they get pregnant. Manifesting better health, manifesting jobs and careers and massive income, business opportunities, manifesting miracles in lawsuits, on and on and on. Again, you can't put a price tag on it. And then what happened was there was a couple unscrupulous people that got these CDs, and maybe they didn't know any better. Maybe they were trying to help humanity. They put it up on Spotify and YouTube when those things started, and people could listen to them for free. And I happened to be away for 8 years, as you know, so I wasn't paying attention. And millions of people around the world were listening to it for free. Well, if you listen to it, you're still going to get the knowledge, but maybe you don't put that much value on it. And we got a flood of responses from people saying miracle, 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 miracle. People say, I listened to it 14 times, miracle, 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 on and on and on. Well, we put together some lawyers who put together a team, and since it's all copyrighted material, it can't be available for free, just like you can't put music from Madonna or Michael Jackson. It's all copyrighted. You just can't get a Michael Jackson album and put it up on the internet for free so everybody can listen to it. That's illegal. It's copyrighted. You can't take a book that's copyrighted and just put all the pages up on the internet and say, hey, anybody can get this book for free. You don't have to buy, this book anymore. You can just get it for free. I bought it and I'll just put it up for free and everybody else can get it for free. No one has to buy it. That's illegal. It's called copyright infringement. Can't do that with a movie. A movie comes out. I'm going to take the movie and buy the DVD and they just put it up on the internet. Everybody can watch it for free. No one has to either buy the DVD, buy it as a streaming service, or go to the theater. No, you can't do that. So we pulled it all down to clean that up. And I just stopped selling it. Nobody could get it. Nobody could have access to it except members in my private club, the Global Information Network. That's my private. Maybe you can put that email up on the screen, the Global Information Network, or the website. That's the only place that people could get it, globalinformationnetwork.com for a while. So now members could get it. So we knew who was getting it and who had access to it. It was free to members, but you had to be a member. Okay. Well, last year, a bunch of people got together with me, and they kept saying, there's a need. And the reason there's a need, Kevin, is there's all these charlatans, all these hucksters, all these fraudsters, all these wannabes, all these people, in some cases, very well-intentioned, that are going on YouTube and on the internet and on Spotify and Rumble and Apple Podcast, and they're setting up websites, and they're going on all these different platforms on Facebook, and they're producing AI-generated books on how to manifest your goals. I said, show me. So they printed dozens and dozens and dozens of these books, and I'm reading them, and I'm going, this is all generated by AI. It's crap. It's garbage. It doesn't say anything. And they said, we know, but millions of people are wasting their money buying this stuff, and then they're wasting their time, hour after hour, reading it, thinking that these are the secrets to manifesting, and then wondering why it doesn't work. And then they're getting a bad taste in their mouth, and they're saying, this manifesting stuff is all BS. It doesn't work. Well, it does work. You just don't have the right formula. You're being misled. You're being lied to. You're being deceived. They said, Kevin, we got to bring back Your Wish is Your Command. It's the only program out there that goes step by step by step and shares with people what you learned from the Brotherhood on how to manifest goals, dreams, and desires. And it's the only one that is documented, substantiated, and proven to work. You need to get it out there. We set up, okay, after many, many conversations, and they kept on showing me all this crap that was on the internet. To watch this video. How does this make you feel, Kevin? This guy's out there saying this is how you manifest. I go, well, that's not how you manifest. They go, we know. People are watching this video. There's 2 million hits on this video. That means people are watching this clown telling people how to manifest, and you know that's not how to manifest. That's not going to work. It's going to lead to disaster. People are going to waste their time and money, and you know it's not going to work because the guy doesn't know how the universe works. Fine. So I decided to bring it back. And the good news is I'm going to do something for you today. I'm going to give this to you for free as a thank you for watching our show. So before the end of the show, I'm going to give you the ability to get this 100% for free. Not one penny. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to join the Global Information Network. You don't have to do anything. You just have to punch in your name and address and phone number and email address, and you'll get an instant download of this absolutely free. And you can get it today. You don't have to do anything. Just punch in your details and email, and you'll get an instant download. I'm going to show you how before the end of the show. And you'll thank me. I know you will. So in the Your Wish is Your Command program, the first 2 concepts that I share, and I'm not going to give you all the information, but I'll just give you some highlights, which aren't in any book on manifesting or success. And if you don't do these first 2 concepts, nothing else is going to work. Step 1 in Your Wish is Your Command is it says, who do you listen to? This is the number one area, the quickest way where 9 out of 10 people blow it. You listen to the wrong person. Who do you listen to when it comes to manifesting? You listen to somebody who has what you want and has been where you are. And you need to listen to somebody ideally who has faced adversity, because you only know the true character of a person when they face adversity. This is how life works. Who do you listen to? Most people are listening to the wrong person. Most people are listening to somebody who is selling a book or has a video or an audio or a seminar or a webinar or something on how to make money or how to manifest. That's who you're listening to. And you're thinking, this guy's very successful. Where did he make his money? Do you know 9 out of 10 people selling books on how to manifest goals, dreams, and desires, how to get rich? 9 out of 10 of them made all their money selling books and audios and digital downloads and seminars on how to manifest. They made their money selling books on how to manifest. They hadn't made any money first. I made $5 billion before I put this together. And when I sold, I gave all the money to charity. What about these guys? Think about it. Who do you listen to? You're listening to some cases very well-intentioned people. But at the end of the day, let me tell you, I know most of them. And the reason they're selling books and tapes on how to get rich or how to manifest is because they have failed so many times. If you can't do, then teach. And that's what they are. They're like, look, I can't make a business successful, so I'm going to sell books on how to become successful. Because I know I can make money selling that, because there's a lot of stupid people that'll buy it because it'll sound good. You're getting ripped off. You're listening to charlatans. And again, a lot of good, well-intentioned people. And I have to say, there's a lot of material out there that's interesting and very good and valuable. It's just full of holes. That's the problem. Okay, 90% of it is crap and garbage and actually is going to hurt you. Maybe 10% is good information that's valuable. Heck, I recommend some books as well that you read. But in addition to this, because then you'll be able to read that other material or go through that other material with discernment. So the first thing is, who do you listen to? You got to listen to somebody who has what you want and has been where you are and has faced adversity and handled it. So this is the reason why people listen to me, because they go, this guy started off with nothing. He didn't have any financing. He didn't get any bank loans. He had no investors. He had no education. He didn't have any family connections, didn't have any other connections. He started with nothing and made billions of dollars. Okay. I have what you want, or had what you want. I had Rolls Royces and Ferraris and Mercedes and butlers and chefs and mansions all over the world and private jets. And okay, the list could go on. It's irrelevant. I mean, how you spend your money is your own thing. Warren Buffett has a lot of money, but he drives a crappy old car. He doesn't drive a Rolls Royce. You don't have to have a lot of things. But I made a lot of money, clearly. I mean, that's obvious. And I've lived a great lifestyle. That's obvious as well. Everybody knows that's been all over the news. I've been on the front page of every major newspaper in America and on every major television and radio talk show and every major magazine. I mean, everybody knows the story. There's been enough journalists and investigative reporters who've looked at my life and who said, this guy lives like a king. Well, yeah. I know how to manifest. I know how to manifest stuff. Think about it. So who do you listen to? Number two. And by the way, let's go back to number one. Who do you listen to? You are probably right now listening to the wrong person when it comes to manifesting. If you're going through this program, you're listening to the right information. If you're a member of the Kevin Trudeau Fan Club Partner Program, you're listening to the right information with our monthly Zooms. If you're a member of the Global Information Network, you're clearly listening to the right information because you're listening to all of my training that I'm giving and delivering to you that I got from the Brotherhood. So it's there. Listen to the right person. Number two, how teachable are you? How coachable? Most people fall flat right here. Let's say you're listening to the right person. Again, 9 out of 10 of you are not. And am I the only person, by the way, you should listen to? No, there are other people out there too that have made a lot of money before they started teaching seminars on how to make money. My good friend Ed Foreman, he was worth at least $100 million before he ever taught a seminar on success or ever gave a lecture on how to have a great day every day. He became a motivational speaker and a trainer on success principles after he had made about $100 million. And while he had successful restaurant businesses, ready-mix concrete business, oil and gas development, and a massive real estate empire in Dallas, Fort Worth. So he had this huge enterprise of business. So when he was teaching, he came from a depth of knowledge that 99% of these motivational speakers or success gurus don't have any clue about because they've never been in real business. They're in the book and audio business. They're in the seminar business. They've never been in real business. They never actually had to get involved in manufacturing and dealing with all the different things that businesses deal with. They don't know about discounted cash flows and cash flow management. They probably don't even know how to read a balance sheet. I mean, they haven't really got into business. Maybe they've never taken a company public. They never had a real audit. Maybe they don't know some of these inner workings. Maybe they haven't hobnobbed with the people that are worth billions of dollars and discuss things at a level that is so far beyond the average person, it's hard for you to comprehend. So if you're listening to that guy, they just don't have that depth of knowledge. So listen to the right people, number one. Number two, are you teachable? There's a teachability index. When you learn something, the question is, what is your willingness to learn? You have a child and a teenager. And I was selling memory training, how to improve your memory. You could remember names and faces, but you could also get better grades with less study time. So a parent would go home and tell their teenager, you're coming to this memory seminar. And the kid goes, I don't want to go to no memory seminar. You're going to this memory seminar. I bought you a ticket, and it's going to be good for you because you're going to get better grades with less study time. I don't want to go. You're going. So the kid comes. He doesn't have a willingness to learn. He doesn't want to be there. So the first question is, what is your willingness to learn? And then the second one is, what is your willingness to accept change? If you ain't willing to change, nothing's going to change in your life. If you want things in your life to change, you're going to have to change things in your life. Wow, that's genius, man. That's like off the charts. So do you have a high teachability index? Probably not. Next, when you're studying stuff, what is the training balance scale of the material you're learning? The scale has two sides. One is motivation or attitude, and the other one is technique or method. Most people, when they want to learn something, they think, I want to learn the technique, the method. So they spend most of their time there. But that's no good, because unless you get your thinking right and your vibrational frequency dialed in correctly, the technique won't work. The other group of people spend all their time on motivation and inspiration. So they're reading books on how to be motivated, how to be inspired. They're getting fired up. They're going to pep rallies. They use positive self-talk. I'm a winner. I'm a winner. I can do it. I can do it. So they're working on their attitude all the time, and they're a motivated idiot because they don't know what to do. So they got a good attitude, but they don't know what to do. Attitude is more important because it's your attitude, not your aptitude, that will determine your altitude in life and with success. However, you need to have a balance. Now, the scale actually balances about 90% attitude, 10% technique. That actually balances the scale. If it was 50-50, it'd be out of balance. You have to balance it by spending more time on attitude, because it's the brain that actually is going to create and manifest, not the technique. But you need that technique. The technique will just work if your attitude and vibrational frequency is right. And then we go on in the course, Your Wish is Your Command, to talk about a whole host of things, but I'll give you one that's very significant, and that is the explanation of how the brain works. Now, there's the mind and there's the brain. The brain is different than the mind. The mind is not physical, which means it can't be picked up by the five senses. The brain is physical mass. The brain itself is actually a transmitter and receiver of frequency. This was talked about by Edison, by Tesla, by Henry Ford, and other geniuses like Albert Einstein. He said that the brain actually emits frequency. Now, today, with quantum physics and all the new scientific data we have, we know clearly that the brain broadcasts frequencies, but it also receives frequencies and is stimulated by outside frequencies, which means you can broadcast something from your brain and it can affect somebody else's brain. We also know that the frequency that goes out from your brain is similar to a radio frequency or a cell phone frequency. Cell phone frequencies, as you know, mysteriously pass through solid steel and glass and wood and brick and stone, right? If you're in a building, I'm in a building here, if I grab my cell phone, I have signal. There's a cell tower way over there someplace that's broadcasting a frequency. How does that frequency get to my cell phone? I'm in a building. The frequency goes through solid steel, brick, mortar, concrete, wood, glass. How? Ask a scientist. And you know what they say? Well, we really don't know how. They don't know how yet. They still don't know how. Your brain frequency does the same thing. Your brain frequency is in a space called the 0 point field where there's no time or space. So when you broadcast something from your brain, it's instantaneously everywhere at the same time. I talk about this at length in the course. The bottom line is, if you broadcast what you desire and what you want on the right frequency band, in the right way, it will vibrate molecules in the physical universe and change the attraction of these molecules so that what you want starts to physically materialize. And the way it physically materializes is the universe creates circumstances, conditions, situations, events, and people that will all go together miraculously so that what you want happens and what you desire to attain actually materializes. It's spooky. I know. That's what's in the course. It's spooky. It's spooky. It's 14 CDs. It's around 10 hours that you go through. After you go through the audios and are completely freaking blown away by hearing stuff you've never heard, no matter how many things on manifesting you've listened to, then there's another video/audio called 10 Steps to Manifesting Your Dreams. It condenses the entire program, but you have to go through the program first. That way you understand it all. Because I'm using terminology in the 10 Steps to Manifesting. It's only 1 hour. I'm using terminology from the Your Wish Is Your Command, so you have to go through it first. Otherwise, it won't make any sense. And then I just say, here are the 10 steps to manifesting. And here are the 10 steps. This was recorded live for members of our Global Information Network at a leadership weekend, and it was not available for sale. It was not available for anyone outside of membership. I was convinced to add that as part of the Your Wish Is Your Command program because people said it was just powerful and magical of how good this was. I'll give you a couple of those steps. One of those steps is you have to know the why behind your why. In other words, if you say, I want to increase my income, okay, what's the why behind that? And that why behind it is really the key, the trigger that's not in any books. It's you have to condense energy. You have to create pain. You have to have something you don't like. You have to create negative energy and contract it in order for you to broadcast what you want on the correct frequency with the right intensity, allowing it to manifest. All the details are in the course. We talk about the concept of dream building, which is physically going and touching the things that you desire, or just things that are outside of your comfort zone of even possibility. Are you going to a high-end Tiffany jewelry shop and looking at a $1 million bracelet? Are you looking at it? They're probably not going to let you put it on, but at least are you looking at it and getting this close to it? That's going to change your vibrational frequency. So there's a whole art and science of dream building and what it does to your brain and how it expands you. This is very important. It's one of the steps. There are other steps about writing down in a graph the statistics so that you're charting your progress. Anyone talk about that? You find a manifesting book that talks about you need to have a graph with a specific ratio. The line going up is black. When it goes down, it's red. It has to have a ratio. It's an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. It's an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. And it has a particular ratio. Do we have one in there? Here, pull me one. I want to show people. No one talks about the significance and the importance of graphing statistics and how it affects. Okay, so here is a graph. And we teach exactly, that's a pretty good line. The last one went from not so good to very, very good. I'm glad you pulled that. Yeah. Is there more than that? I hope there's more than one of those. So nobody talks about that, but that's one of the steps. Look, we do it in the Brotherhood. Every successful person does it. But you find one of these success gurus who talks about why it's not just something good to do, it's needed. It's an ingredient that if it's not in there, it's not going to work. So all that data is there. So here's what I'm offering you today, and you can get it for free. There is no catch. You don't have to join anything. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to put up a nickel. It's not like you get it free if you buy something else. No, I'm giving it to you for free right now. You're going to get the entire Your Wish is Your Command. You'll be able to download it in the next 5 minutes, as well as the 10 steps to manifesting, which was available only through the Global Information Network. Remember, this is all copyrighted material. You can't be sending this out, and we're very, very strict on maintaining the copyrights. So we're going to put up a QR code on the screen. So here's the QR code. All you have to do is go to that QR code. It's going to take you to a page, and you can read everything if you want, because it'll explain, and there's a video there as well, everything about the history of Your Wish is Your Command, which I recommend you do. But click on that, and at the bottom, it says you can buy the program for $500. So you can buy this for $500, but you don't have to pay $500. You're going to pay $0. You're going to get it for free. All you have to do is use that promo code, YWIYC. That stands for Your Wish is Your Command. If you click on the Buy Now button for the Your Wish is Your Command, you don't have to pay a nickel. You punch in the promo code. Now, you do have to punch in your name, your address, your city, state, and zip, your phone number, your email address, and you do have to put in a credit card, but we don't charge it. Okay? We're going to make sure you're a real person. That's why we're doing it. And then you punch in the promo code, YWIYC, and then it'll say right at the bottom, $0. You are charged $0. You are not charged 1 nickel, not 1 penny, not $1, nothing ever. It's not, you're not going to be charged 30 days from now. There's no subscription. $0. You're never charged a nickel ever. It's 100% free, and you'll get a couple emails that'll be sent to you. You have to click on them to verify your email, and then you'll have instant access to all of the audios in Your Wish is Your Command and the 10 steps to manifesting. Don't watch the 10 steps to manifesting until you listen to all of the audios. And it's better if you listen to them faster, which means in his most condensed period of time. If you can do it in the next day or 2 or 3, that's better than spending 3 weeks, to go little by little. But listen. It is going to change your life and improve your life for the better. This is something that is unlike any other manifesting course ever. It is the most unique because it's coming from real life, documented, substantiated results. There are tens of thousands of people that have used these techniques to start companies, succeed in their marriages, succeed in relationships, succeed and prosper in their careers, change their health for the better, attain any and everything they desire using these techniques. The most successful people on planet Earth use the material that's in the Your Wish is Your Command program. They don't use the material in these other people's courses. I know this. I was just with 40 guys, total control and net worth over $1 trillion. We're talking huge money here. These guys are the biggest movers and shakers in the world. And I went through, do you guys use this technique? No. Oh, that's funny because one of the most popular guys on the internet, one of the most biggest successors, says this is what successful people do to become successful. And they're laughing. No. Do you use this? No. I go, this guy sold 10 million books on how to become successful. And he says, this is the technique. They're all looking, no. Oh, here's a guy, here's a woman, she channels from the ether on how to manifest. Do you use any of these? No. And then I said, do you use this technique? Every one of them. Yep. That's in Your Wish is Your Command. Do you use this technique? Yep. It's in Your Wish is Your Command. And it's only in Your Wish is Your Command. I went through technique after technique. The techniques that aren't in any other program, the ones that are in Your Wish is Your Command, are the ones that the richest people in the world have told me. That's what they do. And I know this because I've been doing this since the early 70s, and I've been around these people since the early 70s. I've used it myself. It works. If you want to manifest Goals, dreams, and desires. If you want more out of life, this is your opportunity. It is free, 100%, not a nickel. Just click on the QR code. I guess you can't click on it. You have to take your camera, right? Everyone knows how to do that. If they're watching YouTube, right? If they're watching YouTube, I didn't know how to do this, but if you're watching YouTube, you know how to do it. You take your camera, you go on there, and just go to the Buy Now button. Don't be spooked when it says $500. It's free. You punch in the promo code. You will not be charged a nickel. You punch in your details, and you do have to punch in a credit card, but you're not going to be charged a penny ever, ever. And it's not stored. It's all, it's all legitimate. And you'll see at the bottom, once you punch in the promo code and hit apply, you'll see at the bottom, 0. It'll say 0. You're not going to be charged 1 nickel, 1 penny, $1 ever, ever. Nothing will be charged ever. You get the instant download, digital download, so you can start listening today. And then as you listen, you can leave some comments in the comment section. And I will say this. There's always somebody who's a know-it-all, who is not teachable. They don't have a high teachability index because they don't have a high willingness to accept change. And there's going to be some of you idiots, and I will call you losers because you are a loser, that you don't have anything. You've never created anything. Look, if you created $1 billion in sales, I'll talk to you. If you've created 500 million, let's talk. I did 5. By the way, now it's closer to 25 billion. Okay, this stuff works. The guys I was just with, each one of them, billions of dollars in business, and one guy controls the second or third largest hedge fund in the world, over $500 million. I'm sorry, over $500 billion. 500 billion is what he controls. 500 billion. These people know you don't. And if they say this is the technique and you scoff at it, who's the fool? Who's the idiot? I remember I was in a house out here in Chicago, and there was a business opportunity I was presenting. And I had a couple of mine who was small business owners. And I said, listen, this is something you might want to get involved with. They were friends. And they said, yeah, listen, can I invite some people over to my house? I think I have some friends that I don't want them to miss out on this ground floor opportunity. Would you mind coming over and sharing it with them? Would that be okay? Is that okay? I said, yeah, I'll do that for you. So they invited a bunch of people over their house. I went over their house, and there must have been about 30 people in the room. So I said, yeah, I'm going to explain this is a business that my friends here are getting involved with. It's ground floor, and it could be very lucrative. I think the upside's really, really good. I don't think there's any downside, so it's something you might be interested in. If you are, let me know, and if you're not, that's okay. So I explained it to them, and afterwards, everyone was saying, this is great, I want to get in, I want to get in, I want to get in. And as I was walking out, this one guy says, I'm going to walk out with you. He goes, I'm an accountant. I go, that's great. He goes, yeah, I'm a CPA. I go, that's terrific. He goes, and I'm looking at your proposition here, and it won't work. I go, what do you mean it won't work? Well, I can tell you it won't work. I said, well, actually, it's a business that's been going on in Europe for about 15 years. They do $5 billion in sales. It is working. He says, no, it won't work. It can't work. I go, it generated $5 billion in sales. They've been around for almost 20 years. And he says, no, it won't work. I says, where do you work right now anyways? He goes, well, I'm unemployed. I'm not working. I haven't been working for a while. I'm kind of in between jobs. I said, oh. And this guy keeps on saying, it won't work. 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 And I said, look, this is obviously not for you. But don't say it won't work, because it has worked. You're saying it's going to collapse after 20 years of year-on-year growth? Yes, it can't work. And I'm befuddled. I'm like, okay. So I get into my brand new Rolls Royce, and I look at him, and he gets in his 1979 AMC Gremlin. And I'm like, who's the fool here? So some of you are going to write stupid comments in the comment section. And you're going to expose yourself to everyone, and you're going to tell everybody how dumb you are. When you listen to Your Wish Is Your Command and go, this isn't any good. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Okay, good. Go have another bologna sandwich. Look, sometimes, a guy told me years ago, Kevin, relax, calm down. Just remember, don't try to make a pig sing, because you waste your time and annoy the pig. So I'm not going to try to make you sing, Mr. Pig, because I ain't going to waste my time, nor am I going to annoy you. So if you get the Your Wish Is Your Command and it doesn't resonate with you, blessings to you, blessings. It's not for everyone. You can go on and continue to be broke. It doesn't affect me. Whether you like it or not, it's not going to affect my lifestyle, and it's not going to affect the lifestyle of the other guy. Back in 2009, I sat down with a guy right after I did Your Wish Is Your Command, and I gave it to him. And he called me the next day, and he said, I listened to the entire thing yesterday. I said, you must have stayed up most of the night. He goes, I did. What did you think? He goes, the most brilliant, awesome, success manifesting technique training ever in the history of mankind. I go, I am humbled by those comments. Maybe they're a little bit too lofty. He says, no. He says, I am already using it. I have focused on what I wanted using the method in the course, and I can see it already clicking into gear. I will keep you posted. I said, okay. Good friend of mine in Henderson, Nevada. 18 months later, he had reported he had made $4 million net. This is in 2009, 2010. $4 million net. And he said, and here's the best part. I worked for 90 days, less than 10 hours a week. And then I stopped, and I haven't done anything on this project since, and it's netted me money every single month. And he goes, and as of today, it's already over $4 million, and it's still pouring in. This guy became so successful, he actually built the Sky Bridge over the Grand Canyon. It's made of all glass, and this is how big he can manifest now. He manifested something that the engineering people said couldn't happen. The environmentalists said, you are not going to build this. The government said, you're not going to build this. The Native Americans said, you're not going to build this. And he said, no, this is going to be a great tourist thing. He's going to build a bridge that goes out over the Grand Canyon made of glass. So you could walk out and you're looking straight down. It's awesome. He manifested that out of thin air using the techniques in Your Wish Is Your Command. Because he's brilliant. He knows how to use his mind to manifest goals, dreams, and desires. The best part, folks, is you can too. If you want to manifest your goals, dreams, and desires, then get Your Wish Is Your Command. Click on that QR code. Make sure you use the promo code. It's the only way you get it for free. Heck, if you want to buy it for $500, we will take your money. But if you want it for free, punch in all the details. Your Wish Is Your Command. YWIYC. It's the acronym for Your Wish Is Your Command, or the letters, the initials for Your Wish Is Your Command. That's the promo code. You punch that in, you get it for free as an instant automatic digital download. I'm Kevin Trudeau. We get a great year ahead of us. I will tell you this prediction: more people are going to make more money this year than ever before in history. All the stars are lined up. This is the year. If you've done any personal development training over the last year or two or three or four or five or 10, and you haven't seen results, those seeds that you've planted are going to manifest this year. They're going to spring and sprout this year. They're going to start producing fruit this year. If you do any personal development training this year, you're going to see 100-fold increase this year. This is a magical, powerful year. Energetically, The whole earth is shifted. The astrological alignments are all in perfect position for massive personal and financial growth for those who are dialed in and connected to a source of power. And if you're watching this, you are. If you're a partner in the Kevin Trudeau fan club, you are. If you're listening to Your Wish is Your Command, you are. So the best year is ahead of you. Much love, everybody. We'll see you next time.